What's up, finance virtuosos? Today we're putting the spotlight on Unilever, a corporate juggernaut that touches the lives of billions worldwide, yet often flies under the radar. You've definitely used their products without even realizing it. From Dove and Lipton, to Ben & Jerry's and Hellmann's, Unilever owns an incredible 400-plus brands across every major consumer category. Crazy, right? With operations in virtually every country, this century-old giant claims 2.5 billion people use at least one Unilever product daily. That's 1 in 3 people on the planet. So stay tuned, as we'll dive into the fascinating origins of this $100+ billion titan and why it deserves a spot on your watch list. If you're new here, this is the Finance Virtuoso channel, where we talk about all things finance. For your daily dose of valuable information on money, business, investments, and savings, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell right now. The origins. To fully appreciate Unilever's behemoth status today, we need to go all the way back to the very beginning in the 1880s. It all started when an English entrepreneur named William Lever had the bright idea of making and selling soap. Seems simple enough, but this modest venture kicked off what would eventually become a global consumer products empire. In 1884, William made his vision a reality by producing the first batch of Sunlight soap as a new division of his father's grocery business. This little soap product was an immediate smash hit. By the late 1880s, William had joined forces with his brother James, and they were selling Sunlight and other soap brands under a new company called Lever Brothers. Over the next few decades, Lever Brothers grew exponentially. They kept launching new soap brands for different purposes while vertically integrating by buying their own oil mills and plantations to secure their supply of raw materials. By 1910, they had become an absolute soap powerhouse, providing over 25% of all the soaps sold in Britain while also exporting globally. The margarine opportunity. Lever's soap business was booming, but their next major opportunity came about almost by chance during World War I. With imports restricted, Britain faced a severe shortage of butter and margarine. Demand for these products practically doubled overnight. In their time of need, the British government turned to none other than Lever Brothers to start producing margarine since they had abundant access to the required oils and fats from their soap operations. It was a perfect fit that Lever Brothers capitalized on in a big way, allowing them to rapidly expand into the margarine business on top of soap. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. The Unilever merger. Meanwhile, in the Netherlands, there were two major margarine companies, Jergens and Van den Berg, that had merged in the late 1920s to form a company called Margarine Unie. Sound familiar? With Lever Brothers as the soap titans and Margarine Unie leading the margarine space, a merger of these two giants seemed almost inevitable given their overlapping operations. And that's exactly what happened in 1929 when Lever Brothers and Margarine Unie joined forces to create the monolithic company we know today as Unilever. This merger was unlike any other though. Unilever maintained a very unique dual structure with two parent companies, Unilever plc based in the UK and Unilever NV in the Netherlands. Despite being legally separated, these two entities operate pretty much as a single unified business, which is an unconventional setup Unilever still maintains nearly a century later. The brand mania begins. From that 1929 merger, Unilever kicked into high gear, going on an ambitious acquisition spree over the coming decades to assemble one of the most impressive brand portfolios a company has ever owned across consumer products categories. Some of their biggest brand acquisitions and launches included 1937, Thomas J. Lipton, tea. 1944, Pepsodent, toothpaste. 1955, Dove, soap. 1957, Bird's Eye, frozen foods. 1961, Good Humor, ice cream. 1983, Axe/Lynx, grooming. 1986, Chasuble Ponds, Vaseline, Q-tips, ragu. 1989, Faberge, Elizabeth Arden, Cosmetics/Fragrances, Popsicle. 1993, Breyers, Klondike, Ice Cream. 2000, Ben & Jerry's, Best Foods, Hellmann's, Knorr. 2010, Alberto Culver, Tresemme, VO5. 2016, Dollar Shave Club. Those are just some of the biggest highlights. As of today, Unilever owns a staggering 400 individual brands across foods, beverages, cleaning, personal care and so many other consumer categories. It's honestly hard to make it through a day without using or consuming something from their brand portfolio. Chances are you're very familiar with massive Unilever brands like Hellmann's, Lipton, Dove, Axe/Lynx, Degree, Vaseline, Q-Tips, Ben & Jerry's, Klondike, and Breyers. And that's just the tip of the iceberg for this diversified brand house. The financials. Unilever's incredible brand portfolio has translated into equally impressive financial performance and shareholder returns. In 2022, they reported €60 billion in revenue and €9 billion in operating profit. Not too shabby. More importantly for investors, Unilever has rewarded loyal shareholders through consistently increasing dividend payments every single year for over 50 consecutive years. That means they are part of the elite group known as Dividend aristocrats, which have raised their payouts annually for over 25 straight years. Their portfolio of recession-resistant consumer staple brands combined with geographic diversification across both developed and emerging markets allows Unilever's cash flows to remain very defensive regardless of the economic backdrop. The investment opportunity. So why should investors seriously consider adding this corporate titan to their portfolios? Here are a few compelling reasons. 1. Diversification. As we discussed, Unilever has incredible product and geographic diversification through its massive brand portfolio across every consumer category spanning the globe. This insulates them from any issues impacting a single product or region. 2. Brand power. Unilever has built and acquired some of the most valuable, recognized, and beloved brands in the world like Dove, Hellmann's, Lipton, and Ben & Jerry's. These iconic brands have immense pricing power and cult-like customer loyalty. 3. Global scale. Unilever's presence in pretty much every country worldwide gives them economies of scale that few companies can match. This global distribution network is a major competitive advantage. 4. Defensive qualities. With so many consumer staples brands for basic household needs, Unilever's products remain in constant demand through any economic environment, which results in very recession-resistant cash flows. 5. Reliable income. That 50-plus-year track record of annual dividend increases makes Unilever an attractive option for income investors seeking reliable and growing payouts from a high-quality company. The risks. Of course, no company is without risks. Some potential concerns to watch out for with Unilever include competition. Many of their product categories like personal care and packaged foods are highly competitive with lots of deep-pocketed rivals like P&G, Nestle, and PepsiCo. This can put downward pressure on pricing and margins. Commodity exposure. Key ingredients like vegetable oils, dairy, grains etc. can experience volatility in costs from factors outside of Unilever's control like weather, supply chain issues, etc. This can impact profitability. Emerging markets. A meaningful portion of their business is in higher growth emerging markets, which also tend to carry higher economic and political risks compared to developed nations. Regulations. As a massive food and consumer products company, Unilever has to navigate an increasingly complex web of government regulations and potentially rising compliance costs related to product labeling, ingredients, marketing, etc. When you look at the full picture of Unilever's globally diversified business model, extensive brand portfolio of dominant household names, recession-resistant qualities, and impressive streak of rewarding income investors, this corporate giant appears to check a lot of boxes that long-term investors covet. With its global scale, iconic brands that billions of people literally can't live without, and ability to generate very defensive cash flows through any economic environment, Unilever deserves serious consideration for your portfolio, especially if you prioritize owning high-quality companies that can withstand volatility. However, they certainly aren't without their risks, so you'll want to watch competitive dynamics, input costs, and their exposure to emerging markets. But overall, Unilever stands out as a rock-solid option for investors seeking a defensive, cash flow-generating, dividend-paying consumer titan to anchor their portfolios. What do you think of Unilever? Let me know your thoughts below. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up before you go. Until next time.